Hello everybody, it's me, the Hero Teacher, and I welcome you all on my channel again. And in this video, we are going to talk about 10 mistakes that every IELTS candidate makes. Well, IELTS is an examination that actually is growing in popularity, and every day more and more people are taking this exam to pursue their dream education. However, there are things that you need to be very careful about this exam, otherwise you might not get the score that you would like to. I've got experience in teaching English and IELTS over 10 years, and I have actually listed 10 common mistakes that almost everybody makes while preparing for the IELTS test. And without a further ado, let's get started. Mistake number one is actually setting vague goals. Like, you're not clear about what score you actually want to achieve in the IELTS test. I've seen many candidates who want to get 7.5 or 8 score in this exam, but they don't kind of understand it. They don't know what it means to get an overall 8 band score in this test. The reason why they set their goal or they think they want 8 is because one of their friends recently got 8 or 7.5. So they don't understand the score. They don't understand how difficult it could be for them. So they're not setting realistic goals for their own future. They think they can easily score 7, 7.5, 8, 8.5 within 9. And if you're not setting a realistic goal, you're not clear about what score you actually want to get, it's going to be very difficult for you to achieve it. That's why make sure that you are clear about your score and you know what you want. The second mistake that, again, I think almost everybody makes is that they don't know what English level they've got before they start preparing for the IELTS test. What does that mean? Basically, if you want to get an overall 8 band score from the IELTS test, you need to be around B2 to C1 level in English. If you're A2, like elementary, there is no way you can get that score. Well, I know it may sound a little bit harsh, like why impossible to get it, but yeah, it's close to impossible to get an overall 8 from A2 level. That's why before starting everything, before ever starting to prepare for the IELTS test, know your level in English. You need to be sure that, okay, you are intermediate. Check your speaking, check your listening, check your reading, check your writing, check your vocabulary, check your grammar. Like, you can get help from an instructor, you can get help from a friend whose English is better than yours, but make sure that you know what your level is in English before you actually start the preparation. The next one is, I think, one of the most common ones in the list, or I would say the most common one, not setting proper schedule, timetable for yourself. You don't know when you're going to take the exam. You don't know when your test date is. You just start the preparation. You want to, you start reading books, you start, taking private classes, and you don't know if you're going to take the exam 3 months from now or 5 months from now or next week or like 5 weeks later, etc., etc. So your schedule, your timetable is not clear. You don't have a deadline, and that kind of depletes your motivation. Like, you may be full of motivation for 2-3 weeks, but because the goal is not clear, because the deadline is not clear, you are going to, lose your motivation and eventually give up on preparation. The next one, reading everything, listening to all strategies, trying to mix every possible strategy in yourself, which is impossible. You can't follow all the instructors. You can't actually apply what each instructor around the globe tells you. Like, you need to find your own way, and you need to use the strategy, the tactic, the tip that suits you the most. Like, if you're following me, then another instructor may be a little not difficult but challenging to adapt to, or vice versa. If you already have an instructor, my methodology or my strategies may seem a little off to you, and that's fine. But if you're happy with your instructor, why to choose me? Or if you're happy with me or somebody else, why to move on to another? Because usually a student mindset is that, oh, okay, if I listen to that one and that guy and that lady and that instructor, then I'll combine all and create my own strategy. That is not how it works, and it only consumes you. It consumes your time, it consumes your energy, and eventually your motivation, which will drive you kind of crazy. So that's why choose one direction, choose one instructor, one set of books, not everything. Like, don't mix everything up. Just try to be specific in your methodology, in your strategy, and try to perfect that strategy. The next mistake, I believe it is common to everybody. I also actually made that mistake myself when I was preparing for the IELTS test. You study too much when the exam date gets closer. You think you've got little time left and you push yourself to limits. And that's not recommended at all. Because if you study too much, if you push your limits, and you know that you've got like 1 week left, and that 1 week you think you're going to consume all the knowledge possible about the IELTS preparation, that's not how it works. You just are killing your mind. You are not helping yourself, but you're actually distracting yourself. You're putting yourself under more pressure, and that eventually will lead you to score lower than your actual capacity. Why? Because too much studying is something that your mind may not take very well, and that will drive you more tired. You'll become more tired, and that tiredness will cause you to kind of like lose your focus, feel a little bit under the weather during the exam. And if that happens, you're going to not fail, but score lower than your capacity. So that's why study evenly during those 3 months, 4 months, 5 months. I don't know how much time you're thinking about it, but don't increase the number of hours. Like, don't push your limits when you think you've got only 1 week left to the exam. Okay, something that this one is about early stages of your preparation. Like, at the beginning, your results are not going to be great. I mean, 90% of the times, the results, like candidates who just started preparing for the IELTS test, don't get high results. They don't write great essays, they don't speak perfectly, they don't get 8.5 or 9 in practice listening and reading tests. They may get a little lower, or you may get well lower than your desired score. That's totally fine. That's part of the process. You need to start from bad, or you need to start from normal and gradually develop yourself to better or the best. Okay, like, early results usually demotivate many students, but that's a mistake. It shouldn't demotivate you. Instead, it has to motivate you even more, so that okay, that's my mistake. This is where I'm kind of like falling short. So I have to push. I have to study harder, because I'll get that. And I believe you will. Well, the next mistake, which is mistake number 7, is not learning from your mistakes. Well, you already make mistakes in listening, in reading. You may use a wrong grammar structure. I mean, like, it does happen to everybody, even to native speakers. Like, nobody is secure from making mistakes. I mean, that's in our nature. We humans make mistakes. But what we humans do also is learn from those mistakes. And if you don't learn from your mistakes, then you're not going to make progress. It is a mistake not to learn from your mistakes. So focus on your mistakes. Like, let's say your listening result is 8.5, you've got 3 mistakes or 2 mistakes or whatever. listen to the recording again, analyze that question. Like, why did you choose the wrong one? What made you choose that wrong option, or what made you go with the wrong answer? In reading, do the same. In writing, like, okay, your overall is 7.5, but why not 8? Ask your instructor, ask your teacher, or go over all those points that you have studied. Learn from your mistakes. As learning from your mistake will teach you even more than your instructor. It has happened to many of my students. They learn from their own mistakes more than they did from me. And that happens to everybody. So be very specific about your mistakes, and it's going to work out. Next is studying inconsistently. Well, it's actually connected to mistake number 3, not having proper schedule. It is studying inconsistently. Well, that means one day you spend 5 hours on your studies, the next day 1 hour, or even not studying at all. That is inconsistent. That is not helping you at all. So you have to, instead of that sort of schedule, make sure that every day 2 hours, 2.5 hours, 1 hour, 1.5 hours, but not like studying 10 hours a day and not studying for a week. That's not gonna help you. You're not going to improve your score. Again, Monday 1 hour, Tuesday 1.5 hours, Wednesday again 1 hour, Thursday 1.5 hours, Friday you feel great 2 hours, Saturday you feel a little down 1 hour, Sunday it's Sunday, rest day, 50 minutes, 40 minutes, 45 minutes, but be consistent. Don't just push yourself one day and leave the rest of the week or the rest of the month, because in that case, it's like your muscle, right? Like when you go to a gym, imagine you go to a gym one day, 5 hours, you're killing yourself, and you don't go to gym for the rest of the month. So you're not going to make progress. That's the same way how our mind works. That's how our brain works, right? Like we need to exercise consistently so we make progress. Next, not following your teacher's guidance, not listening to your teacher. I'm not talking about myself. Well, if you're watching this video, well done to you. And if I can be a little of help to you, that's brilliant. I'm so happy. But if you already have got a teacher, follow his guidance, follow her guidance. Like whatever he or she tells you, he already knows it and he's got results. He's an experienced teacher, or she's an experienced teacher. So you trust that teacher and follow whatever your teacher tells you. Many times, I've experienced my students telling me, teacher, yes, you told me about that, but I thought it could be. This is something that is all right, but not necessarily right. So if you go always with that, I thought this could be, then you are kind of like getting away from the solid structure that your teacher's given to you and trying to fabricate your own strategies. And we don't know if those strategies are going to work out or not. So follow your teacher's guidance. He wants to, or she wants to help you, more than you want to help yourself, because that result is his doing, her doing. Follow your teacher's advice and it's going to work out. And finally, mistake number 10 that many IELTS candidates make is not following the progress. If you don't know how much of a progress you're making, you're losing that a drop of motivation that can change everything in your preparation period. Because every time you see that, oh, my last result was 32, but now it's 36 in listening or in reading, that's great motivation boost. So when you see that 1 month ago, your listening results were only 26, 27, 28, 24, 25, 26 again, but now it's 32, 33, 34. So because you've recorded all, that's brilliant. I mean, that's amazing to see your progress in every, like if you keep all your essays, all your reports, if you record your own speaking practice speaking exams and listen to it and see how much of a progress you've made over that course of time. That's brilliant. I mean, this is amazing. So it is a mistake not to follow your progress, not to record your results, not to record your, I don't know, your essays, keep them together, and then once in a while just read them or listen to your own voice and see how much of a progress you made in speaking, because that is a real motivation boost and that's gonna keep you consistent. And that brings us to the end of this video. I hope you've learned from these mistakes, because that's essential to learn from mistakes. Thank you very much. And I would also like you to write down your strategies and how you prepare for the IELTS exam in the comment section below. Please leave a like and subscribe to the channel, even share it with your friends, because I've got a lot to share with you. Thank you very much, and see you in my next videos. Bye bye.